if we can go back, to the norm of saying that in the morning we pray, because prayer unifies people. We hear stories of children being attacked by evil spirits at school.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we hear children doing drugs at school.
At school, yeah.
But if honestly we look back, you will see that drugs was not prevalent at school. School violence, you know that if I can slap someone on the face, I will have to face the music.
Yep.
But these days, children are being killed at school. Why? Because there is no peace. And it's only the gospel that can bring peace. It's only the gospel that can bring unity. It's only the gospel that can bring stability at school.
You know, with teenagers, you deal with a lot of behaviors. How do you manage them?
I see teenagers as people who are trying to find their identity because they are at that stage of exploring. They are on a wild and a wide search of themselves. So they require a lot of guidance and openness, boldness, and listen to them also. Because as parent, I'm also raising a teenager. As I said, I've got 3. The other one is 21, the other one is 22, and then my youngest is 16. But there was a stage where I was living with 3 teenagers that I was raising in the same house, you know? So listen to these people. These people, I mean teenagers.
Yeah.
They make a lot of sense.
Yes.
And they are so informed. Touch base with their emotions. And after that is then that you can be able to give your viewpoint. We have a girl who came, she was bullied a lot because she's got an eye condition. And, you know, Bana, they will call them her different names and all those things. And and she also come from, you know, an informal settlement, a background and whatsoever. But we started giving her a platform. She speaks very well. She's eloquent. She's smart. But the intention was not that we want to hear her smartness. We wanted her to gain her confidence that I or no I or whatsoever, I'm complete. So today she is a pharmacist.
Wow. Yet another episode of the Dawning Experience with Chami Moroke. You guys have been showing us so much love and support. And today we have an amazing lady, the Faith Girls. So we want to find out. But before we get into that, let me just remind you that you can still subscribe. It's Dawning Experience with Chami. And you can also go to Instagram. It's at Dawning Experience. Good morning, Osakaleka. Are you good?
I am so well, thank
Highly
you.
favored and blessed. Yes. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome to the Dawning Experience.
Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Sylvia. My surname is Rambwa. And I'm a South African. I live in South Africa. I live in Soweto. And I love teenagers.
Oh, wow.
And I also love girls. My heart is so drawn to them. And on normal life, I work for a tax organization where we collect taxes and the like. So,
wow, one day we'll need to invite you again and speak about tax. Because, hey, it's hectic.
Yeah, it is hectic.
Also, I'm gonna need you to just take me back to your upbringing, because here I just want to get to know more about the guest before we get into the faith ministry.
All right. I grew up in a very big family, and I call it a blended family because my dad had more than 2 wives.
Wow.
And so from my mother's side, I'm the last child. We are 5. Unfortunately, we lost 2 already. But growing up in Soweto, for me, it made me to understand the real culture of who we are as South Africans, because you are faced with a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Poverty, obviously, segregation, for the main fact that I am vendor speaking.
Oh.
You might find that we are still, though we're living in Soweto, but one might think, okay, because I don't speak Venda, I'm better than someone who speaks Venda.
True.
And that helps me to know, who am I? Am I identified by my language?
Yeah.
Am I identified by the background that I come from, where you live in a home where there's 3 mothers and it's only a 4-roomed house, and people wonder, how do they sleep at night? Because obviously when there's 3 mothers, there's so many children, because I've got over 17 siblings.
What?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it's a blended family.
Yeah, it is a blended family. And what stood out for me in terms of my family, we so much close to each other.
That's amazing.
Even though my dad is normal, but all my 3 mothers, I call them my 3 mothers, and my siblings as well.
Yes.
We do almost everything together. And I think growing up in a big family helped me to love others. It helped me to share. It helped me not to have, we talk about black tax.
Yes.
I don't have that.
Wow.
Because I see my sibling as my brother or as my sister, and where I can help, I help. I think that is what took me to the ministry life, where I don't want to see any girl, lacking just basic things, essential things, such as, sanitary pads.
Yes.
And so it helped me to, even like every December, it has become a norm where I take off all the clothes that I think I will not need anymore and give it out. Why? Because I grew up in such an environment where we share clothes, where we share food, where we share money, we share everything, even information, advices, and all those things. So that is where I grew up. But when I turned 15, I moved to Venda and stayed with my late brother. That is where I did my grade 10 up to matric. And then I came back here. And I started working at a very early age when I was 19, because there was no funds at home, to send me to varsity. But I then started working for this same organization where I am with them now for 27 years. And that is how I grew up. And I still enjoy where I am currently. And in the community, yes, I do teenagers ministry, and I do girls ministry, and young women ministry. But my main passion is teenagers and girls.
As you're talking about your blended family, I'm now just reminded of this thing of, we as Black people, we don't have this thing of my half brother, my half sister. We have a full sister and a full brother, because we are Black people. We don't want that of the half. No, that's my brother, that's my sister. And also, you're speaking about growing up in Soweto. Don't you think that the whole segregation thing is because of they will say Batswana Badule, whether in Dobsonville,
Exactly,
and then Venda Tsonga, and is it Shawelo? You see, that's how it started.
Yes.
But now at least we live in a place where we'll have just a blended community. That's what we love.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I want you to take me through the Faith Girls. How did it start?
Okay, Faith Girls started on the 21st of March. It was Human Rights Day, 9 years ago. So it was 2015. And it was launched in Loli. Loli is one of the informal settlements just after Lenasia.
Okay.
And it was planted in the church environment. And the reason why we use the church platform is because we believe that if a girl has a relationship with God, then it's much easier for them to know their identity.
True.
So we started in 2015, and it was planted by Reverend Chikane.
Wow.
And my pastor, Bishop Sbeko, And also my husband was there, Pastor Gilbert Rambwa. And we started with a number of 323 girls, just invited from different assemblies, and they came and graced the launch.
Yes.
And our vision was to preserve girls' dignity through Christ principles. Because if a girl knows that I have honor, which is part of dignity, I deserve to be respected and also to love myself, then they will know that through Christ's principles, which is of kindness, and that kindness does not only spread to the next person, because if you are not kind with yourself, then you cannot be kind to the next person. So if they use Christ's principles of loving themselves, being kind to themselves, forgiving themselves, it's much easier for them to forgive others. It's much easier for them to have self-love, to have self-compassion. And also we speak about zithande, zilonde, zigcine. So that is all about Faith Girls Ministry. And we aim to equip them to impact their space, because it's not, you don't have to impact your space because of gender or age, but you can impact your space, whether it's at work, whether it's at varsity, even in the community, even at home.
Yes.
Your siblings look up to you, then you can practice that sisterhood and all those things. So that is what Faith Girls Ministry is all about.
So you started this with other ladies. Can you tell me about them?
Yes, I work with Pastor Tandanani Savhasa. She is a senior pastor at Naledi AFM. And also I work with my sister Mboneni Lili Singo.
How did you guys meet?
Okay, it's very amazing because Tandanani fellowship in a different assembly. I fellowship in a different assembly. So is Mboneni. She fellowship in a different assembly. So how we met, through conferences. When there's church conferences, then there's Pastor T, there's Mboneni, and then but with Mboneni it's obvious because we are sisters, siblings. So with Pastor T, I just knew her as a youth leader.
Wow.
And I loved her spirit. I loved her passion and, her fire. Then I approached her, and I didn't even have a contact. I just sent her a DM, via Facebook Messenger. Hi, Tandanani. By then, she was still a student pastor. I'm thinking of girls ministry, but I don't know much about it.
Yes.
But I want to give girls an exposure. I want to give girls a platform where they can voice out. And then she replied by saying, hi, Mam Rambwa. She used to call me Mam Rambwa. Hi, Mam Rambwa. You know what? I used to take girls out maybe to a cinema so that they can know how a cinema looks like. Before starting to think of a boyfriend taking me
take
out.
You out.
Yes. So she will say that, she said also on the same message, she said, sometimes I take them to McDonald's just for that 3 rand, ice cream, so that they can feel special and all that. So when you are coming up with this idea, I think we can solidify it. Then that is how we met, and we presented it to our assembly. It was a women's forum where we presented it. Then Mam Chikane said, no, hang on, Sylvia, don't go and introduce this ministry now. I'll go and speak to Baba Chikane. Then we will do a proper launch so that all the assemblies around Soweto can know about the launch, and then you can start. So that is how it happened.
Someone would ask, why focus on girls and not boys?
Okay.
What would you say?
I do get those questions a lot. Would say, Sylvia, no, what about Tina? Boys.
The boy child.
A boy child. And I said, a vision comes from God. And the vision that God gave me was that I must preserve the daughters. The reason why the daughters is because daughters are humiliated. Just even at home, for instance, I've got 3 children, but my daughter will be the one running all the chores at home. And if my son is sitting doing nothing, but he's just on his phone, I won't make a lot of noise about it.
True.
When you go to school, when I grew up during my times at school, girls will have to clean classes after school, and boys then just pick up papers and go home.
Yes.
And when you go to work, as we grow up, and they're like, okay, maybe before I rush to work, I grew up in church. And when I was in youth, I realized that when a girl falls pregnant before marriage, we don't talk about the father.
Yes.
We talk about this girl who fell pregnant out of marriage at a younger age. And in church, there's this thing called sizomnquma. And then banquma only the girl.
Yes.
And what about the boy? When we look at schools, we don't talk about teenage fathers. When we look in the community, teenage fathers don't exist in our language. But we talk about teenage mothers. These days, we now talk about children pregnancy. So I had a picture of a girl who is 15 years old. She has a baby. In the morning, she goes to school with a bag, nappy bag, school bag, baby on the back. And instead of going straight to school, she must via the creche or Mam Zodwa, who's looking after the child. After school, the journey is the same.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, why is she carrying a baby on her back, a school bag, and a nappy bag? In the afternoon, she has to via through back and go before she starts doing her schoolwork at home. She must first look after this child. And where is the father?
Yep.
If the father is not sugar daddy or the teenage boy at school, then but the father is not in the picture. So we talk much about teenage mothers. We talk about today we're talking is the 10th of December. It's International Human Rights Day. And there's a lot of femicide. There's a lot of violence against girls and women. I'm not saying that it's not happening with boys. It is happening, but it is more prevalent with women and girls. And when you read on newspapers, a lifeless body of a woman, a lifeless body of a girl was dumped somewhere else. And so women suffers a lot more than guys. And when God gave me the vision to say, go and preserve the daughter's dignity, go and announce to the daughters that they have worth, they have value. I love them as God. I am their creator. And they don't have to be fashioned or designed by the standards of this world. But when God says, I love you all. And God has a purpose. We can read about so many women and young girls also in the Bible that have played a significant role. So it is to go out and voice out to the girls that own your space, speak out and take a position and be anything that you want to be.
You know, with any initiative, there's always a mission. As you started this, what was your mission? Okay, this is what we're going to be focusing on. Okay.
Our mission was to equip girls to impact their space, whether it's at school or anywhere else. Is to bring sisterhood. You know, if we in our conferences we always say, look at the person who's sitting at the back and tell that girl that you are my sister and I am your sister. And by saying so, we want to raise young women who will not have, this pull-down syndrome. We want to raise young women whom, even when they're still at school, if I'm on my periods and I don't have sanitary pads, and yet the other girl has 3, then you can share.
Yes.
If I don't have a lunch box, but the other girl has 2 slices of bread, share. There's then there won't be any, bullying, school violence, bullying, because they won't fight for a boy. They will inspire each other. So we talk much about sisterhood. We talk about our mission also is about fellowship.
Yes.
You don't have to be nice to me just because we share the same surname or the same blood, but it's about connection of hearts.
True.
So we aim at that, and also to enhance girls' confidence.
Oh.
Because in our services or in our conferences, myself, Pastor Chandanani, and Bonini, we only lead. We only coordinate speakers and get matured speakers who will come and, and encourage them and all those things. But when it comes to running the programs, they run the programs. From the teenagers, when we have panels, we get a teenage girl, we get someone who is maybe around 16 or so, like a very young one, 13, and then 16, 21, and then 25, and the young adult. Then they form a panel. We give them topics, subtopics to say you will address this point. So we are encouraging them to come with solutions that they face on daily basis. So if you see a girl running a program, making a speech, running a panel, conducting worship, leading songs and all that, that enhance their confidence to say, I can take a stand at any platform. I can talk, I can use my gifts and talent. So it's more about enhancing girls' confidence. It's about sisterhood. And then it's also about self-love and impacting your space.
Wow. And this also gives them those leadership qualities,
Exactly.
because you get to speak. They are so scared to even stand in front of people.
Yes.
Now, where do you get the girls? Is it the girls from church, or do you go to schools?
We also go to schools, but our main point of contact is church.
Okay.
And as I said, the three of us don't fellowship in the same assembly. Let me just add that we also have anchors. Anchors are girls from, young adults from different churches. They make sure that when we have events or conferences and all that, they are the ones to coordinate the girls in the church to say, let's go to the conference, let's go to the camp and the like. And if they see that there's a girl who's missing, maybe she's missing in action, they are the ones to do the follow-up. So we find them mostly in churches. And we don't only focus in the church that we fellowship at. Any church that says, Faith Girls, we want to have this kind of a ministry. Please come and launch. We do come and launch and all that. We get invites in communities. Last year we got an invite in, people might think it's an odd place, but Meguno, not Umembe. So this one Yamachich.
Okay.
Yes.
Zulu
They invite,
culture.
yes, Zulu culture would come and speak to our girls, about self-conduct and the like. So we went them, and then we also go to schools and speak to girls. And then mostly when we go to schools, they give us a platform for everyone. They don't separate boys from girls, because we want boys also to know how to treat you, girls and how to respect them. And then also vice versa, the girls also to know that we're not equipping you to be bossy, to be bully, to be rude, but respect also the guys at school. Yeah.
So do you guys have camps that you go to, so that maybe, let's say, you just say, on this day we want, or actually this week we want to network and get to know each other?
Yes, we do. We go on hiking, we do picnics. And next year it will be our first weekend camp, because we are celebrating 10 years. So we want to have like a big thing, So we want to have a camp for, we are looking at the weekend of the 27th of April, so that we can have almost everyone there. And we just, have braai.
Yes,
We
just
swim and we
enjoy.
sport and we do all those things. If they want to do a beauty contest in the evening, we just do that. If they
Fun.
want to dress up and look nice, and we just do that, yeah.
Sylvia, as you're speaking about girls in school and all that, I'm reminded of Nahanekikena High School. We had Bible study.
Okay.
I think it was primary. That was the first time I even held a Bible. These days in our schools, Bible is not there. Even praying in assembly. What's your take on that?
Hey, Downing Experience is sponsored by DreamStream. If you'd like to support us directly and gain ad-free version of our episodes, click on the link below.
I think we have demystified the power of the gospel because it's not about religion, but it's about the gospel is about God's love. And if we can just, zoom into what is God's love,
Yes.
we will not have teenage pregnancy at school because it talks about purity. We will not have school violence at school because if then I know that I need to love somebody else, then I cannot hate the person that I should love. There will be unity. There will be, progress at school. So it is so painful to see that these days we have put the Bible, we have put the gospel in one shelf.
Yes.
And we say, choose for yourself what you want. So my take is that if we can go back, to the norm of saying that in the morning we pray, because prayer unifies people. We hear stories of children being attacked by evil spirits at school.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we hear children doing drugs at school.
At school, yeah.
But if honestly we look back, you will see that drugs was not prevalent at school. School violence, you know that if I can slap someone on the face, I will have to face the music.
Yep.
But these days, children are being killed at school. Why? Because there is no peace. And it's only the gospel that can bring peace. It's only the gospel that can bring unity. It's only the gospel that can bring stability at school. So that is why when we go out as Faith Girls Ministry, we also hand over Bibles.
Yes.
Especially at schools, because there is that child who doesn't know anything about the Bible. They want to know, but they don't have access to it. So we do give out Bibles, and we think that if we can tell our children to read the Bible and let them know who God is in their life, then we'll be raising a different community that is really peculiar.
Oh. And like you're saying, there's so much violence. Even kids at school, children are beating up their teachers.
Yes.
So it's not safe. So we need to have Bible studies or just prayer in our schools so that it could just be a safe space for everyone. As we're talking about this, I'm reminded that there was a syllabus, I think it's LO, if I'm not mistaken. They said that they were bringing sexual, I think education and all that. It was to combat teenage pregnancy. Is it helping?
I attended the Nelson Mandela Foundation where the event where we were talking about teenage pregnancy, children pregnancy, and the like. And as the community, we're trying to bring different solutions, condoms, contraceptives, different kinds of contraceptives that should be introduced at schools and the like. Then it was a Faith Girls Ministry 10 to speak out. What do you think? I said then, from the faith point of view or religion, Christian religion point of view, we emphasize purity.
Yes.
And purity goes hand in hand with abstinence. And where there is abstinence, whether we want to say abstinence is old school or it's conservative or whatsoever, but the truth is where there is abstinence, there won't be HIV.
Oh.
There won't be STIs. There won't be this teenage pregnancy that the world today does not know how to deal with it. Where there's abstinence, there won't be even, violence. Because one will know that, but I've abstained. So how do I rape if I've abstained? So I will say that I believe that if we can go back again to the roots of saying that wait until you get married. Because some of the children that are committing suicide is because she's heartbroken. He slept with me. When I get home, I realized that he blocked me. I can no longer access his phone. That's heartbreaking. And if we're saying that condoms then protect teenage pregnancy, we wouldn't have, if they were using that, we wouldn't have so much, pregnancy that is happening at school. And then also, who said a condom is 100%? Because there's mistakes that you will hear, no, it best.
Yeah.
And we don't want to talk about that. Because even if, let's say I'm using a different kind of contraceptives, perhaps pills or injection, it won't prevent me from not getting STI.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at Faith Girls Ministry, we advocate for purity.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, with teenagers, you deal with a lot of behaviors. How do you manage them?
I see teenagers as people who are trying to find their identity because they are at that stage of exploring. They are on a wild and a wide search of themselves. So they require a lot of guidance and openness, boldness, and listen to them also. Because as parent, I'm also raising a teenager. As I said, I've got 3. The other one is 21, the other one is 22, and then my youngest is 16. But there was a stage where I was living with 3 teenagers that I was raising in the same house, you know? So listen to these people. These people, I mean teenagers, they make a lot of sense.
Yes.
And they are so informed. Touch base with their emotions. And after that is then that you can be able to give your viewpoint. And I believe that if we can bring the gospel at that teenage stage, you will be raising someone who's very accountable, responsible, and someone who has, a clear identity of themselves to say, this is who am I. And therefore, they will have enough confidence of themselves. And also, they will care about others. So, how I work with teenagers, I don't see how I deal with them, how I work with them. I'll just use an example. When we have, like this weekend, I will be in Free State. It's a teenagers conference.
Yes.
We sit in circle so that they can feel that, okay, she is my age.
Yes.
I don't wear like this. I don't dress up like this. I dress up their age, and I allow them to say, what is your view about this and that? And you'll be so shocked. So much wisdom that comes there. And also, we should know that we're not living only for ourselves, but we're living for the next generation. Therefore, if we pass the right baton to the next generation, they will be able, Nabo, to pass the right baton to the next generation.
Oh, you know, Sis Sylvia, as you're talking about this, not so long ago, I had an interview with a young lady. She spoke about, the mental health issue part that Batswadi Bahaye would just, whenever she wanted to offload or speak with them, they would just say, go to your room. And I think she was a teen. She's 21 this year. She was a teenager. And she started just bottling a lot of things. And then one day she was like, I need someone. I just need that sense of being loved. And this is a girl child. And she just said, whoever guy that comes, I'm just going to go to that person. Do you think le Batswadi, the parents, they banally that impact in the behavior? Yaban?
We do. The other day I had a meeting with the parents. And I said to them, the only time we speak to our teenagers is when we are saying,
thank you.
Bring me tea. Yes. Bring me silpas. And that's the only conversations we have. Why did you do this? Why usapasa koskolong?
True.
Why, it's all about why, don't, and bring. It's all about that. But there is no time to sit down with them and say, how was your day?
Oh, compliment me for that small thing.
Yes. Even if it's a small progress.
Mm.
Even if ngwana was struggling ko sekolong,
Yeah.
and then comes back home with 35% because previously it was 23%. Compliment the difference that is there.
Yeah.
So we do that, and that thing of being harsh.
Yeah.
We are so harsh to them. Don't tell me that because I'm a parent. Don't speak to me like that. I'm an elder. But we fail to get the real point that this person is trying to raise. Because, a teenager is a complete person. It's a complete human being with brains, with senses, all the 5 senses that we have. So if we can allow, and they've got talents. They've got gifts.
Yes.
And they've got calling as well. They have a calling. So let's give them a platform and allow them to be. All we need to do is to love them, to guide them, and to support them. I should not project my own dreams on my children because I failed to be a journalist. I wanted to be a journalist.
Yeah.
I failed to be a journalist. Now I need to push it down to him. Yet, yena ha batlo ba a journalist. So we do that, and I think we do instigate issue ya mental health.
Yes.
And then also the suicide, because teen suicide is very high.
It is.
Teen suicide is prevalent, and when you try to track back what happened, because ngwana, you don't listen to him.
Yes.
He will go and find friends, and he will be a bad friend, or he will join bad friends.
Yeah.
And they start doing drugs. They start doing things that, won't give them a future.
Yes.
So let's not push them outside to the world, but let's have time for our children. Sometimes on Sunday I posted, a very funny picture. As I said, my son is 16.
Yes.
So I'm going to the bedroom, and then he follows me.
Yes.
So I wanted some time alone. So when I was on my phone, then he come and sleep next to me. And then he just started, having some unnecessary talk.
Yeah.
Nothing serious.
Yeah.
But, and then later on, perhaps after 5 minutes, I realized, no, man, this guy has been here for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And now he is relaxed. He's looking up, and then he's talking. Unnecessary stuff.
That.
I had to take a picture to say, hey, Batung, this guy is here, and now he has overtaken the room.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I realized that he needed attention.
Yeah.
He needed love. And we didn't spend the day together on Sunday. So he wanted some time to tell me all the unnecessary things that happened throughout the day, and his mind, and all those
bonding
things.
With you.
Yes, just bonding. So it's like that. Let's love. Let's love them. Even at school, I always say to the teachers when I go to the educators when I go to school, they come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Others are hurting. Others are even orphaned.
Yeah.
They don't have parents. And when they come to school, they expect a love from an educator.
True.
Because abanye, they are being raised only ngabogogo.
Yes.
Because we know what happened after COVID.
Yeah.
Many teenagers also, they lost their parents.
Yes.
So we also try to cover that even when we meet in our sessions, to say that if we have lost a beloved one, a friend, do we sit down with our teenagers and ask them, how do you feel that one of the learners has passed on? We don't do that. So what more about when somebody has lost a sibling, when somebody has lost a parent? They don't know where to cough this out.
Yes.
So that's why I say, let's embrace them, because you don't know the pain that they're going through.
Oh, yes. Oh. Sylvia, as we're speaking about the Faith Girls, do you have any maybe charity drives that you guys do?
Yes, we do. We do sanitary pads, hygiene products like your bath soap and your roll-ons and the like. And we also do winter drives, socks, hand gloves. Then there's this special campaign that we have. It's underwears.
Okay.
I'll be open.
Yeah.
As I said, I grew up in an environment where it was a big family. And I won't say poverty was so high because both my parents were working, but we didn't get much of the things that we needed. And there was a time where both my parents lost their jobs at the same year. And I came to a stage where I didn't have underwears. Underwears had holes, I'll be honest and open. And it's a situation that is still happening currently, where when you needed to put on a sanitary pad, then that, because it's sticky at the back, that stickiness will have to stick on your skin. Why? Because there is a hole on your underwear. Yeah. So we do drive for underwears because we know that there are girls who don't have panties. And even if we give them a pad, where are you going to place a pad without a panty? You see. So that is our very special campaign that we buy underwears, and when we meet through our conferences, and there's boxes of sanitary pads, and sometimes we are so lucky to get people. We are so blessed to get people who will donate, undies and sanitary and those products. So yeah.
Where do you see Faith Girls Ministry in maybe, let's say, 2 or 5 years?
Sure. I'll just go back to the vision. At the end of the day, we want to see a girl who is mature, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and physically. Physically, it touches also socially, having a proper job, dominating in the industry, economy, and everywhere. And there are times where we invite people who will come and speak about career because we want a girl who is balanced. So about Faith Girls Ministry in the years to come, we want to see girls who will come and say, I came here not knowing exactly who am I, but today this is where I am. And so far, I am seeing God opening those doors.
Yes.
We have a girl who came, she was bullied a lot because she's got an eye condition. And, Bana, they will call them her different names and all those things. And and she also come from, an informal settlement background and whatsoever. But we started giving her a platform. She speaks very well. She's eloquent. She's smart. But the intention was not that we want to hear her smartness. We wanted her to gain her confidence that I or no I or whatsoever, I'm complete. So today she is a pharmacist.
Wow.
And we also have a medical practitioner who got a bursary through Faith Girls Ministry because we called one of the doctors to come and do, career talk. And then at the end, she gave, links to say you can get a bursary here and there. Today, she is a qualified medical practitioner. So, yeah, so we have amazing stories and aiming to see more and to hear more.
Oh, yes.
We want to see girls becoming, presidents,
so
running their own organizations. We want to see girls becoming, pastors, bishops.
Yes, yes, we
running
need that.
their own businesses as well, and also lifting others. Because about Faith Girls, we don't want to end up only a Soweto. That's why we've got branches in Umtata, Port Elizabeth. The only provinces we don't have branches is we're still waiting to get an invite, perhaps in Western Cape and then in Mpumalanga, because we don't want to keep this vision by ourselves.
It needs to go out.
But it needs to go out. And tomorrow we want a generation of women who will stand up and say, where can I help? Where do I where can I close the puzzle? How do I raise another girl to be, a strong woman, a courageous woman, and the like?
So Sylvia, there's a camera over there. I would love for you to just maybe, for the young girl who maybe Liana, she's going through a lot, a teenager, and she needs someone to speak to. Do you guys have social media platforms that you can give to them? That's the camera.
Okay. Yes, we have our social media pages. We are on Instagram and on Facebook. We also have an email account, which is faithgirlsministry@outlook.com. Our WhatsApp number is 084 580 9029. And to the girl, to any young woman who's going through life that is hard, what I want to say to you is that you are of worth.
Yep.
You are of value. You are loved. So if you have done some mistakes in life, everyone has. Forgive yourself, embrace yourself, and focus on your goals. And to that young girl who is in a toxic relationship, I want you to run out. And don't hang yourself. Don't kill yourself. Don't allow that person to kill you. Reach out, and we are here to help you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Dawning. Now we could just speak for over, because this is a serious topic. It deals with a lot of things. But for now, ke lebogile thata for just taking time to join us.
Thank you so much.
Young girls, you are beautiful. You are amazing. Thank you so much for choosing this platform. It is called Dawning Experience. On our social media platform. On Instagram, it's @Dawning Experience. And please do not forget to subscribe.